You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
Hello, and welcome to episode 267 of the Soul Forge podcast.
Welcome to the Soul Forge, a place of silent mystery, quiet contemplation, and outright mayhem. Join your host, Sean Vanderloo, as he guides you through the adventures of living. Together, we'll talk about life and love, sex and dating, joy and heartache, memories and loss, and so much more. Don't worry, it's not nearly as pretentious as it sounds. Get ready for life, the universe, and everything on the Soul Forge.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Sean, and with me today is my brother, Robin.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. It's been a minute since I've been on the old Soul Forge podcast.
It's been quite some time.
It has been.
I don't remember the last time you were here.
It's been months.
Has it been months?
Months.
It must be.
Yeah.
Yeah, because since I can't remember,
Yeah.
it's got to be a while.
I don't think I've been on it since you've moved back to Sault Ste. Marie.
That can't be true.
We've discussed doing podcasts,
Okay.
but we just never end up doing it.
Huh.
So today,
Here we are.
here we are.
We're doing it.
We're doing it.
And we're excited?
We're jacked.
Are we, Jack?
We're hyped.
Right on.
We're thrilled.
All the things?
All of the things.
Okay.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay, so if we were going to introduce you to listeners who may not have listened to any of your previous episodes, how would we describe you as a person?
A disaster.
Okay, that sums it up pretty nicely.
Sums it up pretty nicely.
Okay, so you're my younger brother.
Yes.
You're 10 years younger than I am, roughly.
Yep.
When I was living in Timmins, you came to live there for a year and a half to get your life on track.
That's right.
How'd that work out?
Well, I think for the most part, it went pretty well.
You re-energized your mental health?
Yes. Re-energized the mental health, got my affairs in order, returned to the Sioux. Things were going pretty well for a while. A couple rough patches, but, I mean, nothing's perfect. And then I got myself a job and been working, and then guess what happened at the end of September?
I'm going to guess, well, I don't have to guess because I know your life story, but for listeners who might not, once again, you lost your job.
I lost my job.
But not through a fault of your own this time.
No fault of mine this time. It wasn't because I was late or I slept in or anything. No, it was just a matter of real estate issues and the store closed.
Okay, so you were working at the Brick as a part-time salesman on commission.
That's right.
And the Brick was owned by a local guy.
Yep.
And the contract was over or something?
The contract, essentially, for the, I guess for the rent, it was in the Market Mall. So because Giant Tiger is planning to move in there next year, they wanted to move us to another storefront, which had less room, but pay more rent.
Oh, that's fair.
That's fair. So the boss basically pulled the plug on that idea and said nope. And so then at September 30th was my final day.
And you were out of a job.
And I was out of a job once again.
And you had nowhere to turn to, nowhere to go. Did you apply to other places?
I have applied to many other places.
And what happened with all these applications?
Get lost in the toilet as far as I know. Never got a call back, never got an email, never got a thank you, never got a no, we're not interested. You know, the usual run-of-the-mill job hunting BS that I always run into. But there's a but. Things might turn around for old Gil here.
Oh,
and
tell me more.
It looks like, we don't know yet for certain, but as of right now, I'm working on getting a position at Best Buy.
Ah, Best Buy. As an appliance salesman.
That is correct.
Wow. And it'd be full-time.
It would be full-time.
And it wouldn't be commission-based.
Not commission-based. Has benefits.
Ooh. And one of the benefits is that you're not starting at 8 o'clock.
That is also true.
For whatever reason, you are unable to properly wake yourself up at this time.
It's a tough thing for me to do. I guess my body is just naturally, built for the late nights and not early mornings.
Not early mornings. And because of this, isn't that why you lost your oil change job at
Yes.
Superior Dodge?
That is correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's how things started to fall apart.
Yes.
And that's how you ended up moving to Timmins with me.
That's right. And you can go back and listen to those episodes on, I don't remember what episode it is on the Soul Forge podcast, but if you did a little bit of searching, you can find out about all the old Rubino mishaps and whatnot.
Yeah, your trials and tribulations are definitely in the archives.
Yes, they are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tales of woe and sadness.
Tales of woe and sadness for sure.
Weeping and gnashing of teeth, as they say.
Indeed.
Yes, but you seem to be in chipper spirits.
I am in chipper spirits.
That's good.
Yes.
That's good. You know what? Why don't we discuss your chipper spirits a little bit more after a promo for another podcast right here on
The Soul Forge podcast.
the ESO Network.
The ESO Network.
Comic-Cons are back and fans are ready. Hear all about it on The Con Guy Show, where we keep you up to date on all the events, the movies, the people, and the conventions that drive your passions and feed your fandom. Straight from the nerdy heart of Hollywood, California, we are proud members of the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
And wasn't that a great promo?
This is friggin' one of my favorites I've ever heard, man.
I knew it was. That's why I picked that one.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah. So let's talk about your mental health.
Okay.
Being back in the Sioux is good for you.
Yes.
You're just down the road from us here.
Yes, that's right.
Because as our listeners know, I moved back about 7 months ago from Timmins after being up there almost 20 years.
Yeah.
And I've been staying with Brother Curtis.
Brother Curtis, yeah.
And we're in Brother Curtis's house right now.
We are.
He's at work, mind you. But you're just down the road.
Yes. Not far.
Not too far. A little bit of a jaunt, but you're in a triangle situation. You're at one end, we're at the other, and then your kid is just at the third corner of the triangle.
That, yeah.
Your kids, actually.
Yeah,
not
my kids.
Just because since they live together with their mother.
Yes. I do have two of them, not one.
That's right. And you get to see them fairly often.
I do see them fairly often, which is good. It was hard, obviously, when I was in Timmins. Hard to see them when they're here, but, I mean, I kept in constant communication with them and saw them as often as I could.
You sure did.
So, you know, yeah, but things on that front are all gravy, if you will.
Kids are good. Living situation's good.
Yeah.
All the brothers are back in town together.
All the brothers are back in town.
And they haven't been like that in over 20 years.
Yeah.
Since I decided to leave in the early mid-90s, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Long time ago.
Long time ago.
In a galaxy far, far away. How many other pop culture references can we get in here, brother?
Oh, I'm sure we could slide in a few more.
I'm sure we could. But anyway, even though you're unemployed and you have a mangled ear, you're feeling pretty good.
I'm feeling pretty good.
Let's talk about your mangled ear.
Let's talk about the mangled ear. Okay, so some of your listeners may be privy to the fact that I do some wrestling. I have done that on and off for the better part of, since 2005, 2006.
Something like that.
Something like that. So recently, I got back involved in the business.
Because you knew your job was coming to an end, and you figured you'd go on tour with the local wrestling promoter to make a little bit of extra cash.
Yeah, exactly. So this actually, I got back into it back in July, and I did a couple of shows in July. And the big reason why I got back into it was because my daughter, she's 16 now, so growing up, she got to watch Dad wrestle all the time.
That's right.
And my son, he had just turned 6 in July, but he has never been to a wrestling show. He only ever heard that Dad did some wrestling. Mm-hmm. So for me, I got back into it mostly so I could show him the ropes, if you will.
Oh, that's a good pun.
Ah, thank you. And so Lincoln got to go to his first wrestling event back in July, right around his birthday.
And how did he find it?
He loved it. He had a great time. He was overly joyed at it, I think. And it made me feel very happy, very proud. He told me when he's older, he wants to be a wrestler named Super Punch.
I could see that happening.
Yes. So it was quite delightful. And so he got to witness that, and I think he enjoyed it pretty well. And it made me also enjoy it as much. And then, so in September, I did another set of shows. And then just a couple weeks ago, there was another set of shows that I was a part of. And so the promotion that I was wrestling for is called CWE, Canadians Wrestling Elite. They're based out of basically Manitoba and do a lot of shows out west. And then they come into Ontario and they add some dates here in Ontario. And that's where we join the party and do the Ontario dates. So it was we were scheduled to do Elliott Lake, Sudbury, Sault Ste. Marie, and Thunder Bay. And the Thursday night Elliott Lake show, I was privileged enough to actually get to be in a tag team match with my partner. Some of you guys may know him, the Cowboy James Storm, former Impact Heavyweight Champion, multiple tag team champion.
For WWE?
Not WWE, TNA and Impact Wrestling. But still pretty good and pretty well known.
Pretty high up there?
High up there. And so during the match, there was a bit of a whoops, and I had my earring tore right out of my ear.
Yikes.
And split my earlobe in half, which required some stitches. And that pretty much put the kibosh on the rest of that tour for me.
I guess so.
Unfortunately. And, it sucked. It hurt. But what hurt more, it was the disappointment I felt in myself.
Yeah.
It far exceeded any pain that I actually was going through. Because here was 4 nights that I was supposed to be in different, or in a bunch of tag team matches, different partners, supposed to, tell this story and this, that, and the other thing, and I couldn't do that. So
on the first night.
And on the first night this happened, and that really kind of put the wrench into the plans.
Sadness.
It sucked. It was just a sucky situation. So now we're on 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks since that injury.
How many weeks?
2 weeks.
And so we are on day 14 of my ear injury. I still have stitches in the ear.
Yes.
It looks disgusting.
But listeners want to know, were you able to save the earring?
The earring absolutely got saved.
Oh, good.
Yes.
So you still have it?
I still have it.
So
whether it will go back into the ear or not, that's an entirely different story.
That depends on the healing process and how good they did with their stitches, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I went to go get the stitches, hopefully taken out today.
Yeah.
But turns out waiting at the hospital was going to be 14 hours long, and ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
So I'll go another day.
Or we'll get our brother's wife, who is currently a PSW.
Yes.
And in school to become a nurse, and she specializes in wound care, so she can take the stitches out.
She could, indeed.
Yes.
And it may not take us 14 hours.
I would hope not.
So that's what's going on with that anyway. So it was a mangled mess of an ear and a bloody good time.
Blood everywhere?
Blood everywhere. Like, oh yeah.
Profusely.
Yeah. So as of right now, we're just getting the healing going, and I figure what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the rest of the ear off. The ear. And I will return in the spring, and I will get back into the squared circle, bigger and better than ever before.
New and improved.
Actually, it's good that we discuss this on this podcast, because after it happened, I had to definitely sit down and think about things, whether or not I was going to continue wrestling or not. Because an injury like this, it just sucks, and it really takes away any sort of, I guess, what do you call it? Not the thrill, but like, what am I doing? So I was really fighting within myself.
An internal struggle.
Struggle, if you will. Whether I should just hang the boots up now, maybe this is a sign, okay, and just shut it down, or use it as a learning opportunity and get better and return with, more knowledge and a little bit more of a...
So what have you learned from this?
Well, I've learned quite a few things, but definitely learned to take the earring out.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Because you were wearing a mask.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So that caught on that, and next thing you know, whoops.
There it was.
And there it goes.
Yes.
So.
Well, okay. So even with all that, being unemployed, your mental health is still good.
Yeah.
And we're expecting to hear from Best Buy soon?
I was told by the end of the week. So
Okay.
it could be next week, but I do have the EI right now, so it's not like I'm without anything. It's just, riding EI kind of sucks, and I'm a little bored, but at the same time, and with this injury, I also received a concussion from hitting my head.
Oh boy.
So I am, for the first week and a half there, I was very just
Out of it?
out of it. So I'm kind of glad that I didn't have a job
Yeah.
to deal with that, because I couldn't
Couldn't think straight?
think straight. So that's, I think most of that's gone and been cleared up. It was a mild concussion. So, but yeah, injuries happen in the sport of professional wrestling. So you just got to be careful out there.
There you go. And is there anything else you'd like to discuss?
No, can't say I do.
No, huh?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. I sense a bit of hesitation and like there's a story underneath, but we won't discuss that right now.
No. In the future, I think we might touch on something else, a couple other things. But things are going good right now. That's all I can say. Things are well.
That's good.
I'm happy. I'm not in a state of funk. The weather has been nice. We just had Halloween, and it was the warmest Halloween we've had since 1947. They say.
That's what they said. 1947.
47. 47. 47. 47. 47. 47. 47. 47. 47. 47. No!
Yeah. We've had no snow, no rain. It's been sunny and warm the last few days, and this is beginning of November, so this is really nice. If it was to stay like this, that would probably make things a lot better, but...
Yeah. Yeah, we just have to hope that... What were you saying? Saudi Arabia and Iran are going to have a war?
Yeah, apparently, yeah.
So that's this weekend or something?
That's this weekend, supposedly, yeah. I was reading about
Or
that
I
yesterday.
guess by the time this comes out, it'll be next weekend, since we're recording the day that episode 266 dropped.
Yes. So it may or may not happen, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, so if this episode doesn't come out, then we all died.
Yeah, exactly.
And if it does, well, then we didn't.
Yeah.
So there you go. Positive news either way.
Positive news either way.
There you go. There you go. All right. Well, your triumphant return to Soulforge podcast has now been completed.
Yes.
If people wanted to find you on the TikTok or anywhere else, where would they go?
I am on... Yeah. Excuse me. I am on the TikTok under Rubino Heat. You can find me on Facebook under the same thing. I think my Instagram is Robin Wild.
I think that's true.
Yeah, and Twitter, same thing, but I don't really use Twitter that much.
Yeah, I think we've pretty much given up.
Yeah. But, yeah, find me on TikTok. I got some fun things on there.
You sure do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta do more on there, but...
Yes, definitely.
well.
Okay. And of course, listeners, as you know, I'm on TikTok at Soulforge Podcast. I'm on YouTube. I was just able to give myself a handle after all of these years, and I've chosen Rusted Robot Toys, where you can also find me on the Etsy shop. So until next time, take care of yourselves and each other, and remember, when you think about giving up, think about how far you've come. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Soulforge Podcast. Your support is greatly appreciated, and we hope you'll tune in again next time. Remember that you can visit soulforgepodcast.com for all of our social media links, and don't forget to share the show with everyone you know. The Soulforge Podcast is your best source for living your best life.
Think about it.
Your title and my title. But I'm going to give you an option, because I didn't give Eddie Edwards an option. I told him that he was going to fight me. I'm going to give you an option. This is your option. You have two things you can do. You can, one, accept my challenge, or you can, two, you can just hand me that belt right now and save yourself the ass whooping. But let me tell you, James, save yourself the ass whooping, and I'll go back there and I'll get you a $500 replica, just like all the other little sports teams have, and you can take it home with you. You can put it on your social media. You can brag to your friends back in Tennessee that you're a champion and you once were a champion, and you can save yourself this ass whooping. What's your choice, James? Walk away with the title, or get your ass whooped and have me take it from you?
That respect just went out the window because I like ass whippings, bitch.
I think that means that James Storm accepts.
Yeah, no kidding.
You're gonna wish you didn't make that decision. I'm gonna hurt you real bad.
Sorry about your damn luck.
James Storm is putting the King of the Mountain Championship on the line.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network. Be part of the crew and help support our shows by donating to our ESO Patreon or by shopping for the TeePublic store, which can all be found at www.esonetwork.com. The ESO Network, your station for all things geek.